All right, here's our second question. So why is God so keen for us to have faith? Why does he want us to trust him so much? Well, let me go further. Why does God love faith? Well, the first reason that God loves faith is that faith connects us to him. See, God is a spirit, and so we can't see him, we can't know him without faith. And so God has given us the gift of faith so that we can. He tells us in 11:3 that we're looking at today, by faith we understand that the whole universe was created by God's word, so that what is seen was not made out of things that are visible. See, this is really important. Faith connects us to the invisible. It connects us to the spiritual. See, faith is not based on what we see around us. It is based on our God that we can't see. Because we are natural and he is supernatural. And that's why God loves it. It connects us with him. So listen to what Peter said. Peter said, though you have not seen him, you love him. And even though you don't see him now, you believe in him. And so you are filled with an inexpressible and glorious joy, for you are receiving the result of your faith, the salvation of your souls. See, this is the most beautiful thing Peter wants us to hear. God has gifted us faith so that we can know and love him in a real way. All right, here's the second reason God loves faith. It says in verse 6, without faith, it is impossible to please God, because anyone that comes to him must believe that he exists and that he rewards those who earnestly seek him. See, the second reason God loves faith is because if we truly believe in him, we're going to seek after him. See, faith always seeks after God. And we know that our God loves and is after people who want to seek him. He's all about relationship. He wants us to come closer to him. And I want to tell you, the thing that brings us the closest is completely trusting in him. All right, here's the third reason. Let me ask you a question before I tell you this. I want to ask, where do you believe? Where do you have faith? Is it in your mind? Listen to Romans 10. It says, if you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart, you will be saved. See, faith is not primarily in your head. It is in your heart. And Paul again confirms it in the very next verse. He says, for it's with your heart that you believe and are justified. See, the third reason that God loves faith is because he's after our hearts. Fourth reason God loves faith. Faith always becomes obedience, or faith always leads to obedience. All right, faith becomes alive in obedience. Verse 8 says, by faith Abraham obeyed. So we've just said faith isn't knowing a concept, it's stepping out, it's actually doing it, it's actually living it. And in fact, every one of these heroes who were commended for their faith in chapter 11, they didn't just say they had faith. They actually trusted God with their lives. And so their action or their obedience is their faith. It says that by faith, Abel sacrificed a better offering. By faith, Noah built an ark. By faith, Abraham packed up and moved when God told him to go, even though he didn't know where he's going. See, if we want to have this same kind of faith, it has to be the same for us. By faith, we need to overcome our fears with courage. By faith, we need to start interceding for our families. By faith, we need to start sharing with our neighbours about Jesus. See, Paul says the same thing in 2 Corinthians. He says, we live by faith and not by sight. He's actually saying that they're polar opposites. You know, people say, when I see, then I'll believe. But if we can see, it doesn't take any faith. So we're not trusting God. See, we are not going to live based on what we see around us. We're going to choose to live based on trusting God alone. That is faith. All right, the fifth reason God loves faith is because it produces perseverance and makes us mature. It enables us to overcome. See, here's a bit of a spoiler alert. It is impossible to have faith without it being tested. Untested faith is actually of no value. See, James said this. He says, consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds, because your faith will be tested. All right, he didn't beat around the bush. Your faith will be tested. But we know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. And let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. See, do you want to not lack anything? Do you want to be mature and complete? Do you want to be all that God has for you to be? Then we need to step up in faith, step out in faith, and allow our faith to be tested. We need to start exercising what God has given us. John says the same sort of thing. He said, this is the victory that has overcome the world, even our faith. All right, the sixth reason that God loves faith is because it brings honor to Jesus. Again, Peter, he says, these trials have come to prove your faith is genuine. It's being tested as fire tests and purifies gold, even though your faith is worth far more valuable than gold. So when your faith remains strong through many trials, it will result in praise and glory and honor when Jesus Christ is revealed. Here's the truth. Your faith honors Jesus because it's saying that knowing Jesus is better than anything this world has to offer. All right? Knowing and trusting in who Jesus is better than life itself. And see, that brings Jesus honor. God loves that. All right, the seventh reason that God loves faith is he wants us to trust him because it means that we are totally dependent on his grace. See, coming to God and being saved has nothing to do with us. It's all on him. And faith is how we receive his grace. Let me give you a quote from John Piper. He said, the reason God chose faith as the way to get right with him is that he wanted to base the whole thing on his almighty, all-glorious grace, so that our boasting would be excluded, and his glory would be exalted, and our salvation would be certain. See, our pride is put down, God's glory is lifted up, and our salvation is made sure. How good is that? All right, last reason, the eighth reason that God loves faith is because he loves to prove that he's absolutely trustworthy. God loves to prove that he's trustworthy because that's his very nature. It's who he is. And this is why we have faith. In Hebrews 10, it says we can draw near to God with a sincere heart in full assurance of faith, and we can hold fast to the hope that we profess, for he who promised is faithful. See, that's why we have faith. Our God is absolutely faithful. Every promise he gives us, we can trust is faithful. Everything he has for our life, we know it's for our good because he is faithful. And God loves to show that. He loves to prove it. And we've got to hold on to this. This verse tells us to hold fast because the devil's going to come and try and discourage us. He's going to try and distract us. He's going to throw pressures at us. We're in a battle of endurance. And that's okay. That's why Jesus has allowed the devil to remain. He's still here, restrained. He's on a chain. But he's here so that we can step up and exercise our faith. And one way that we can do that is we need to start professing our hope. That's what this verse says. Let us hold fast to the hope we profess. We need to actually say out loud, this is why I have hope, because I trust in Jesus. If we aren't prepared to say it out loud, we're not really owning it. God loves to prove he's absolutely trustworthy. So these are just some of the reasons. Is it any wonder that God loves faith? And he loves it when we trust him completely.